Hey everyone, welcome to the Preps on 11 Web Extra. Tyler Cash joined by Scorebook Live's Nate Olson as we break down round 2 of the playoffs. A fun round 1 last week, but now we're really getting into some great solid matchups.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And some of the teams that didn't play this week are playing. These teams that we think are going to go far that had buys. So yeah, it's going to get interesting, and maybe we'll see an upset or two. Last week, just maybe a couple, but this week could be some more.
Let's start right off the bat with a big one in the 6A. Lake Hamilton making the trip to Benton.
This could be one of the better games, I think. Both these teams are kind of similar with how they play. Both of them are going to run more. You got a guy like Braylon Russell, you're going to run the ball a lot. And then in Lake Hamilton, they're a run-oriented attack too. Justin Crutchmer to do everything. So both teams play good defense too. So I could see this being a really good game in the fourth quarter. Last year it came down to the final play. And Benton had a big stop and stopped and won the game. So I think it'll be really good. And then the winner gets probably Greenwood. So that's a huge game right there.
We'll stick in the 6A then and go to War Memorial for the matchup that I think probably more people are talking about than any this week. It's our game of the week, so we know we'll be out there. Little Rock Christian and Little Rock Catholic.
Yeah, that's one that we kind of had circled from the beginning, and you needed Little Rock Christian to beat El Dorado, and they did it. And I thought that I was at the first half of that game, and I kind of felt like the Little Rock Christian offense, Walker White, the passing game wasn't quite in sync. He threw 2 picks. He ran for 189 yards in that game, but I feel like in this game, he's going to have to play more like the 4-star quarterback and pass the ball a little bit better. I don't think that Catholic's going to let him get away with mistakes like that. I think El Dorado showed they're a young team by not capitalizing, and Little Rock Christian's defense bailed them out. But I don't know if they can withstand that this time. This is a very good Catholic team. They're undefeated, and I think that if you're going to beat them, you've got to play really good. You can't give them anything. And their defense is opportunistic. As I've said, throughout the year, when you compare the 3 Little Rock schools, I kind of feel like Catholic's defense is kind of here, and then Christian and PA's defense is here, and then those 2 offenses are here, and Little Rock Catholic's offense is here. So if their bread and butter is defense, if they can make some turnovers, they can beat both these teams, but it's going to be really good, and the atmosphere is going to be kind of like a state championship atmosphere. Little Rock Christian, they know what to do at War Memorial Stadium. They've been there a lot. They'll bring a lot of people. And Catholic, I was at a game a couple weeks ago. There was a pretty good crowd. It was the night of the weather stuff. But I think they will have a really good crowd too, so it should be an awesome night at War Memorial Stadium.
All right, we'll head up to the 7A now, and a couple of Northwest Arkansas schools making the drive down to Central Arkansas. We'll start in Bryant, where the Hornets take on Rogers.
Yeah, this is interesting. I talked to a 7A West assistant, and he said that he thought that Rogers is really dangerous because of the length they have out on the receiver. And they've got Dane Williams, who is a converted defensive guy. His dad's the defensive coordinator. He moved to quarterback, and he's been sensational. He plugged in for a really good quarterback, a departing guy, and came in, and they haven't missed a beat, and they've probably been better. But the X factor for them might be Jacob Jenkins. He's a running back that, like in the last 2 games, has run for some, obscene amount, like 600 yards combined, and one game was 300 some, and that's something that you got to be careful of with your Bryant, because before it's been mostly Williams in the passing game. If they're more multifaceted, that's going to give more of a challenge to the defense, but that defense is about as good as I've seen in a while. I mean, they had a couple defenses that when they went undefeated a couple years ago that were so dominant. This defense compares, though. A lot of veteran guys, you can see it. And every week there's somebody else stepping up. Like Tyler Mosley had a big game a couple weeks ago. And then, Primus, their cornerback, had 2 interceptions. So they get guys. And then you've got TJ Lindsey, who is one of the better defensive ends in junior, among the juniors in the country, getting recruited by everybody. So they are hard to prepare for. And their offense hasn't been quite as good. I think they're still kind of waiting for them to hit their prime. But the defense has picked up the slack. And I think if they make a good run, that offense does need to play a little better. Jordan Walker is a sophomore, and I think he needs to take a little more command, and the offensive line needs to block a little better. I think they can do it. and I think they will do it. They're going to be real focused. Rogers gives them a challenge, and then next week if they win, it would be Fayetteville or Conway, which would be a really, really good matchup.
All right, and then we'll head up to Cabot for our last game, where they're playing host to Bentonville West.
Man, you go back to, I think it was week 2, Cabot went to Bentonville West and just smacked them. And that was kind of, I think, when you and I realized that maybe that they were for real. Like, I don't think that you and I both thought when we've talked that Cabot was going to be better than they were last year.
It felt like this was supposed to be a rebuilding year after last year's team graduated so many seniors, but clearly not.
Yeah, but I think, Scott Reed, they kind of had, I think, a meeting in the offseason and some talks about we didn't meet our expectations last year. We were expected to do this, this, and this. We didn't do it. They had a real valiant effort in the playoffs that came up short, I think, against Fayetteville. They turn around and they beat Fayetteville in the last second here, which Fayetteville is a better team than we thought they were going to be too. And then they go to Bentonville West, and that was going to kind of be my Fayetteville of this year. I thought they might contend, win that league. They took second. So, but to beat them like that was big. But I think when you do that, it really gives West some ammunition now to come down here and play really well. Jay Casey is a really good quarterback. There's 3 or 4 good quarterbacks in the West, and he's one of them. They've got Nick Bell at receiver and D-back. That's Gino Bell, the Arkansas radio sideline reporter, his son. He's really quick. And they've got some good defenders too. Braden Jones is a linebacker committed to UCA. So they've got some talent there. But I think Cabot, they impressed me with the way they play with Bryant. I feel like they're on a mission. And I think, they may not say it, but I think they would like to get back to the championship game, and they play whoever they want or whoever's there. But I think they'd like another crack at Bryant. I mean, they were really close to beating them. And, like I said, they going to Little Rock, they don't care who they're going to play. Playing for a state title would be big, but I think they'd like another chance. It was very close in the fourth quarter, and Bryant does what they do, and they make plays when they need to win. But, this will be an entertaining game, I think. I think Cabot wins it, though. They're playing really well. I think Bentonville West will play better than they did last time.
All right, a hugely entertaining slate coming your way Friday night. Of course, we'll have the highlights from all those games we just discussed, plus a few more coming your way right here on THV 11 on the Friday Night Blitz.